Hi there, welcome to another one of First Second Sketch Schools. My name is Fallon Cook and I will be talking about sketching horses today. The reason we will talk about sketching horses today is because First Second's new history series book just came out, History Comics, The Wild Mustang. It was written by Chris Duffy and illustrated by myself. And I have drawn a lot of horses. It's taken a long time, so I'm hoping that some of these sketches will give you some inspiration to draw your own horses. So the main character that we're going to be drawing, the main characters don't actually have names in this book. They are these red, this orange, and this yellow character. The red one is obviously inspired by an actual horse, but they are all inspired by the petroglyph drawings that are in the Southwest United States, like Newspaper Rock and Petrified Forest. And the reason for that inspiration is because those are some of the oldest drawings of horses in North America. The ancient Puebloans drew those drawings anywhere from 2,000 to 600 years ago. And so we took our inspiration from that, from some of the first North American artists to depict the horse. And it's still around today. You can go visit it. So you can see our little guy is about to jump off the page right here. So we're going to talk about horse first. All right. So I draw digitally, so that's what we're gonna do. So let me aim this down here at my tablet. And we are gonna start with some basic sketches. So the main horse character is super easy. I kept them super simple because that's how the petroglyph drawings are, and that's what my inspiration was. And so, sorry about this, I should have had this all set up. So let's start drawing this guy. He's very simple. I just keep a nice boxy head and have the neck coming off there. Very easy. I keep the eyes just on the side of the head. Very easy to change all the expressions. We can have a nice happy horse. We can have a mad horse, really easy. We could have sad horse. Maybe that's not sad. All that is very easy to change around and do. And this horse is always seen the whole book from the side. There's never a front view. So if you want to draw a horse from the side view the whole time in your own books, you totally can. I keep the body very simple. It's basically it's a teacup or a half circle. And then the mane and the tail are both just the idea of the hair. I don't want to go into too much detail. I wanted to keep it nice and loose. And then the legs are almost straight, but the only tough part is I have a slight bend where the elbows and the knees would be on a real horse. But other than that, very simple shapes. I just feel like if the legs are too straight, they're not quite a horse. They're more of a gazelle. And the same thing with the ears. If the ears get too long, you'll know it because all of a sudden you've made a donkey, and you don't want to do that. It's sort of in thirds too. Legs, body, and the head area. But to ink it, I choose a nice crayon looking texture. I really like this one. And then I just focus on the outline more than anything. Let's turn him back and do a happy horse. Oop, hold on. All right. Happy horse for us. This horse is a happy horse because they are one of the main characters, and they are what I would call the smarty pants of the book. They tell all the other characters all about how the horse came to North America, how people of the North Americas use the horse, whether they had come over or where they were the original inhabitants, the Native American communities of North America. Many communities use the horse. Crow, Apache, Kiowa, and many of them still use it today, as a lot of people across the nation do. Horses are beloved by a lot of people. I used to ride horses. I love horses. I love drawing horses, even though they're a little bit tricky. And so you can see when I take the underdrawing away that it's basically just an outline. He's very sketchy. He's very easy. I do not fill in any of this stuff right here. I like to leave it sort of loose. But we are also going to talk about drawing an a more realistic horse. Now this is still very simplified, but we're going to talk about some tips and tricks for drawing because there's lots and lots of horses in the book that are more realistic. So, let's get a pencil out and let's start talking about the horse. So before I want to draw a horse in 3/4 view, but we're not going to do that yet. Let's talk about two things first before we combine that. So I always start with a big circle, and that represents the big jaw that horses have. They have a big jaw to chew up lots of tough grass. And then all I do is I just have it taper. I sort of keep the top straight and have a little bit of a taper going back to that jaw. And then their eye sits right in the front of the circle there. Some people draw a second circle right here, and that sort of represents where their little cute little chin is. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It kind of depends. And then their ears are very up at the top of their head, and that's so they can hear all over the place. So this is the side. And then the front view, the problem with the front view is that I do start with sort of a circle, but really the shapes are very different. It's more of a diamond and a little space, and then a smaller diamond. And what these diamonds represent is where their eyes are and where their nose is. They've got that big jaw. And so horses have a very big space in between their two eyes because they need to see on either side of their head so they can look out for predators. And same thing, they've got their ears right on the top of their head. Their ears have almost, I want to say, like a water drop sort of shape. They're a little bit flatter in the center, or at least that's how I draw them. But sort of some eye drops here. And then some horses are very skinny. Some horses are very wide. There's so many different breeds of horses. So to combine the side and front, I start with that big circle again for their jaw. I'm going to sort of point to which way I think their face is. I'm going to draw the little second circle. And many, if you get a book out of the library for how to draw horses, many of them will give you these same tips with these circles. And then I'm going to draw my diamond, first one, and then my second small one. And you can already start to see how we're shaping up with this horse. We've got the big jaw again for chewing up grass, and the little smaller diamond gives me a little idea of where I'm going to be drawing the nostrils and the little chin that they have. I love this little chin. It doesn't have a ton of muscle and it's fairly floppy. And then we're going to draw that big jaw that they use again and to eat up all the grass, and then their ears. And then they always have a big powerful neck, and the way that I always think of the neck is I think of the front of the neck where it attaches to closer to their throat as very straight, and then a nice curve for the back side of it. And then there's always this one muscle that I just give a hint of that goes from the back of their jaw to the front and attaches to what would be their collarbones if they were a person. But horses don't really have collarbones. They have an area where their chest and their shoulders meet, and that's called the withers. It's a very boxy area, and so I always give a little hint of the neck. They have a nice, some people draw the muscle that's right in the back here. I just draw this one right here. I probably get that from various animations that try and keep horses very simple. And then there is a character in the book called Stilo, and he has just a beautiful, flowy, wavy mane. So I try not to give too much thought about how I want the waves to go. I just sketch out lots and lots of different ones, and then I'll sort of pick later. But Stilo, who we are basing this drawing on, has a big, beautiful, black, curly mane. Horses have straight manes. They have curly manes. You can draw whatever you like. It always gives that very like windswept look. So those are just some great tips to get you started with drawing your own horse. There's plenty of books out there. And those are just some tips that I have for sketch school. I hope you pick up the book. Again, it's The Wild Mustang, part of First Seconds History series. I had a great time drawing it. I hope you have a great time reading it. Thank you so much.